So day 68 of this lockdown or shutdown, wherever you are in the world, um, we've been developing ways to document and think about our learning. So today's lesson, there are 10 quick ones that we thought we'd leave you between Triccia and I about what we're learning in our lives. And as we made the practice of writing every day about what we're learning about ourselves and learning about others. Triccia, you want to get started?
Sure. So before I get started, we are going to do this rapid fire. So make sure you grab a pen, you journal, just write these things down, and we are going to go fast. So the first one for me that I've learned while we've been in lockdown has to do with the importance of releasing and letting go of the past. And that sounds a lot easier than it really is, because releasing and letting go usually involves holding on to things that are way, way, way deep in your core that have shaped who you are today. Often it's events that have taken place when you were a child, trauma of some sort, and it's really important to release those, let them go, and create space for new possibilities in your life. So that's the first lesson, and you can start by asking yourself, what do I need to let go of in order to feel more free?
So number 2 is about habits. So as we are locked down or isolated, what are we learning, and what habits about our days are forming? What old habits are you giving up? What new ones are you creating? So, essentially, as Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again with expecting a different result. Another way to say that is you have a habit that you're unconscious about. So as you write down, so my first thing is write down, have a journal that says, what is it that you learned today about you, and what habits are you developing, or what ones that you're giving up? Because there's no new habit, and if you have no new habits, there are no new wins. So that's the second.
The third point I have is connected to habits. Another way you could look at habits is conditioning. It's just a set of ways that we've been doing, thinking, feeling, believing for a while now that we actually we're not aware of it. So the third point to me is about this renewal. And in order for you to renew or to reinvent yourself, which this time is appropriate for, in order for anyone to be able to do that, you have to be aware of past conditioning or the habits that you've made. And again, that includes emotions as well, not just sets of actions. You have to also, part 2 to that, set new expectations. Because if you're clear on what it is you're trying to create, then you don't have to just subconsciously, without thinking about it, repeat old sets of actions or emotions that you're used to feeling. So the first is condition yourself, recondition yourself. Second is set your expectations for what it is that you'd like to see in the future. And then the last point about that is look for the meaning, look for connections, and start seeing how everything going on around you has a bigger purpose to it, and that your life is not just chance, it's actually a set of divinely designed occurrences that's been set aside to set you on this very moment.
Okay, so number 4 has to do with making the shift. So, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, you can achieve, but what does that really mean, right? So it's about what shift do you want to make in your life as you live into the future? So to make the shift is uncomfortable, and so it is. So what I want to conceive and achieve and believe and therefore achieve may require a shift in what you do. So capture the moments of that emotion every day that you're feeling about this agitation that you're not ambitious enough, you're not good enough, you're not growing. So the reason you're having that emotion is because, life inside you wants to grow. So find the connection to that growth, because that's what's going to give you momentum. So when you live into the future rather than living in the past, that making a shift for you is going to be very powerful. So write that down.
Okay, now we are at point number 5, almost halfway there. What I've learned is that we all have a desire to grow. We may have varying levels of ambition, but every single one of us, as long as we have breath, we all have a desire to grow and to expand. And it's when we don't allow ourselves to grow into what is our potential that we don't feel the fullness of life, that we don't feel the connectedness or the meaning of why it is we do what we do. So tap into what it is for you to mean, what growth means for you. Tap into that, because allowing your heart to feel what is in there and tending to it is really going to open up possibilities for you. So, desire to grow, we all have it.
So number 6 is related to that. I call that emotional awareness, or one element of consciousness that we all, are looking to raise as a result of this seedling that we have inside us, which aspires us to grow. So it arises from growth, but the question is, I feel like I'm acutely aware of my emotions, but whether they're positive or negative. What is it about that negative emotion and what's on the other side of that negative emotion that you can change? So when you start to get more aware about what life is to you, and there are many levels of consciousness that we probably are aware of, or one of 3 levels of consciousness that we're probably tapping into. Either you feel like your life is happening to you, or life is happening by you because you're in command, and the other one is how you feel about life because you are the medium through which life is happening. So the first one's a victim mentality. The second is, you're in charge. You think everything's, you're controlling everything, every outcome. And the third takes you out of the equation, because while you're not passive, you're actively aware of your emotion, and you use that emotion to power you forward.
Point number 7 is that fear is also a real thing. And many talk about fear as the absence of love, and that is true. I would like to just challenge everyone to think about fear as something even simpler than that. That when we are not feeling courageous, when we are not feeling confident about who we are, about our situation, when we don't have the mindset that we are able to figure it out, and that we have the support and people around us, situations around us that support our well-being, fear really can be debilitating. It can really take a hold of you. And if you think about having courage and confidence as a way to overcome that, the way you build courage and confidence is to take inspired action. Take inspired action after inspired action after inspired action, and that's how you build momentum in your life. And when you get used to doing that, no matter what's going on around you, that set of beliefs in your mind that tells you you're okay, you're supported, you have what it takes, you have people around you, situations always work out, then fear loses its grip on you.
Terrific. So number 8, this is a personal story, but I'm sure you guys can connect with what's going on around us right now. So many of you are aware, for almost 2 months, there have been no schools, and everything's under shutdown. I think classes are going online. So for me, one lesson related to this time was one of my teenagers, who is the captain of his baseball team. Clearly he's heartbroken because he couldn't even do practice this whole season. And, there's of course no prom, no graduation. And, while we're all reaching out to connect with people, the teenagers, they're at this delicate, age where they're all, not sure what's going on in the world. So the lesson for me on the day that I felt that this is so sad for my son was that not only, of course, I connect with him in a different way, to be present with your family, which is so critical. I also felt like I understood empathy a little bit more. So for me, number 8 is really empathy. Find empathy, find connection deeply inside you with your loved ones, and be present with them, because we all get distracted with things that are running in our heads while we're having dinner together, or we're doing something together, or having a conversation. So fully present with empathy, for me, that's a big lesson of these times in particular.
All right, here we are, number 9. Hopefully you've been taking notes. We are moving, we're almost done. Number 9 is that we don't need to have all the answers. That in fact, when we let go of the need to know the outcomes, we in fact open up the realm of possibilities. When you can build within you the belief or the mindset that you can make moves, take action without having all of the answers in advance, then you're tapping into something greater, and that's called infinite possibilities. And in fact, it's when we think we know that we really don't know, and it's when we get so attached to knowing that we limit ourselves, because everything we've known up to this point is just what we've experienced in the past. But if you're really interested in opening up possibilities for you, you have to be willing to let go of the past. It kind of takes me back to my first point. Let go of the past, let go of the willing to know, and then you open up limitless possibilities for you and everybody around you.
Okay, so I have a whole lesson around learning, yet another one, but we're only giving you 10 today, okay? And I'm sure between us, there are endless ones that we can talk about, but right now we can only give you one more, number 10. And this has to do with, and you probably heard this already, in these times, a crisis offers you an opportunity to learn new skills. In these 68 days, what new skill have you learned? Whether it's applicable for the post-COVID new normal or whatever it may be, or just for you to enhance yourself, to grow, going back to growth earlier. So I learned that about me, I've had so many skills that I've put to the test, but the first time you do something new, you're not going to be very good at it. And that is what turns us off from, stepping into the water rather than, just going all in and just, well, that didn't work out. So frankly, in these times, and we've developed some new skills here, but I have stepped into the arena. The question is, are you stepping into the arena with your new skill sets? Put yourself out there, and don't just dip your toe, which you could, but don't walk away from it either because it didn't work out. So as one of my mentors says, the first time you're not going to be very good at it. But if you step into the arena, you will only get better. So go get better, get new skills, and make a difference to your life. Make every day count.
So we hope you found these 10 lessons helpful. We've enjoyed sharing them with you, and we'll see you next time.